Yeah, he started skating when he was 3. He started Timbits when he was 4. Owen was interested in it from a young age, like a lot of kids, and kind of took on a life of its own.
If you get too caught up in stuff, even right now, like I'm trying to not get caught up in the draft. It's 2 weeks away, but it can consume you if you kind of let it. Once he got a sniff of the Western League and he understood, like, I belong here, I can play there, and he had that belief in himself, I've just kind of seen him skyrocket. I think it really helped me, obviously, like at the start of that year to the end of that year. At the start of the year, I had no conversations with Swift Current about signing, and then at the end of the year, I signed.
Smart enough to know how to use them, ambitious enough to use them properly, and determined enough to, make them work for him. So by the end of that year, I mean, he had involved himself into one of the top D in the league.
There's an extra piece there. I don't know what it is with him, but it's just, you can feel it, and he wants it. He wants it really, really bad.
I don't think we thought he was destined for anything.
This is what I want to do. I want to be a hockey player.
He was, I don't know how old he would have been, 6 or 7. We got a phone call from somebody asking, he had heard that we had a good stay-at-home defenseman and wanting Owen to play on their team. I mean, that just was the start of just this big animal of hockey, I guess.
I think for my part, I don't think there was any moment where growing up, I mean, he was always a good player, but I don't think we thought he was destined for anything, and he just kind of really enjoyed it and loved playing, and it just kind of continued to grow as he got older. I think RHA came to be because I think it was the fit for him. That U16 program was, I think, the right path for him in terms of where he was physically developed. I think at that time, you could see his skill set, you can see what, he was, had some ability, but physically he was just not mature yet, so that was a better option.
He played lots of sports, but at a certain point he had to decide to focus, and he did. He made that choice, and he ran with it.
I think for us, we were never really, Owen got the opportunities to do things and play, but it was never really about, you have to get to here, you have to get to there. It wasn't like we didn't send him to the rink because it was going to be his path somewhere. It just seemed like the right fit at the right time. And I think he would tell you himself that around his 16-year-old year, he kind of made a big jump, took a big step forward, and things just kind of progressed from there as he got a chance with the Broncos.
You know what, when Owen first came to us, he was actually a pretty little bit undersized guy, I would say, for a defenseman, but you could always really see that he had a really great IQ for the game. He went from a 5'9" player to a 6'3" or 4" player, almost overnight. And he always had the attributes, and he certainly had the brain for the game. He just needed his body to catch up a little bit. His family and him decided we were a real good option at U16. And I think the reason being that they were very realistic about what Owen needed to follow as a path. So, I think they took a realistic approach about where Owen was, physically and his game, and thought U16 was a great option for them. He got to play against upper echelon players, but still within his own age group and actually his own year of birth. So, I think Owen, he really accelerated himself with those things. Smart enough to know how to use them, ambitious enough to use them properly, and determined enough to, make them work for him. So by the end of that year, I mean, he had involved himself into one of the top D in the league.
When you have an athlete that's as tall and lanky as Owen, There's a lot of physical maturity that needs to take place in a pretty short amount of time when we're scaling that to like an NHL draft prospect player. So when Owen entered the U16 program, he was nowhere near where he is now. And it was a lot of work throughout that entire process in that year of U16 and then going into the bubble year with U18, where he was doing a lot of things that he wasn't getting rewarded immediately with results or immediate improvements. And that's hard on a kid his age, but he took it in stride. He committed, he trusted the professionals, he trusted the people around him within our program, and it's shown, it's paid off. It kind of all goes back to the first released NHL draft rankings where he was ranked, I don't even remember, but it was a good ranking, it was a strong ranking. But you know, we talked soon after that, and the second rankings came out, and he was now kind of moved into that blue chip prospect range ever since then. And even before that, like once he got a sniff of the Western League and he understood like, I belong here, I can play there, and he had that belief in himself, I've just kind of seen him like skyrocket with his effort and his attention to detail. It's been, you know, like leading up to the draft, every player is going to be motivated at this time, but there's just, I've talked to scouts about it, there's an extra piece there. I don't know what it is with him, but it's just, you can feel it, and he wants it. He wants it really, really bad.
Pretty excited. It's obviously going to be a very cool experience. I'm super excited to share the moment with my family and people that I'm close to, people that have helped me along the way. I got a lot of people going, so it's going to be a super cool experience and weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, even like the start of the year to the end of the year was such a huge jump for me. Like you kind of coming in, obviously, I would tell people I could always kind of see the game, always a smart player, but just my body hadn't really caught up to me. I was just a weaker kid, not very powerful. So I think that the runway that the rink provided, I guess, kind of being in the E15 program, I don't think I would have been ready for midget. I do think that program, that runway that it gave me, and the chance to kind of be the guy was big. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to answer this question without sounding a little bit like a loser. But I work hard. I've worked hard for a long time. This is what I want to do. I want to be a hockey player for as long as I can. So I can't really see myself doing anything else. I'm pretty obsessive, so it never really seems like work, which I think is a good thing. You listen to guys talking who've had success, and they say it never really felt like work. So I definitely kind of have that mindset, whether it's coming to the gym or coming on the ice, I'm just having fun. So I definitely think that helps me out, because if it ever really seemed like work, or if it ever really sucked, that would be tough. But I do think I enjoy every aspect of it, so that kind of translates to just working hard, I guess.
But I think those teams that are interested in drafting him really see that brain and, that ability to play lots of different roles in the game. I'm stoked for him. I have no doubt he's going to be a real good NHLer. He gets there and he's going to be an impact guy at that level for sure.
Just always want him to know we're proud of him and we love him. We're happy for him and we want him to be happy.
Hopefully he enjoys the process, and hopefully he understands sort of the magnitude of it and the awesomeness of it, and just enjoys it, and just keeps being himself and enjoying the process.
Yeah, well, I think there's something to be said for how this all kind of was like an organic growth. This naturally occurred, right? I think Owen just loves the game, and he's so kind of like in the moment. And there's days where we have to pull him back and remind him, like, all that matters is right now. All that matters is this workout, this set, and he'll know what I mean when I say that. But, there's something to be said with that commitment to the process and that ability to just keep going day in and day out. And for somebody his age to truly, like, he's never satisfied. Like, he is by far his own worst critic. Like, that's a special gift. It's a blessing and a curse, but right now he's using it as a blessing. It's just very, like, with picks, like, it's wholesome. Like, like the kid, he just oozes like passion, like he wants it so bad. And he sees himself like as an NHL player someday. And I have no doubt that like he's gonna make that dream a reality. Come to the rink, play hockey, work out, and go back home, maybe talk about it with some friends or my parents. But in the next couple of years, I just want to be the best I can be. I want to win a championship in Swift Current. I definitely want to win a championship. And then after that, you're not really sure. I want to play in the NHL. I want to play in the NHL for a long time. That's definitely the goal, and kind of ready to do whatever it takes to get there, I guess.